Let's talk about writing algebraic expressions. It's important to know the words that represent each operation. When you're writing expressions that involve addition and multiplication, order doesn't matter because of the commutative property that states order when you multiply or add two values. The order in which you do it doesn't matter, you get the same answer. For example, 2 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 2. So the examples we see here, a number increased by 9. That represents a number. We're starting with some number and we're increasing it by 9. So start with some number and increase it by 9. That would also be equivalent to the expression 9 plus n. If you scored 1 point greater than your last test grade, 1 point greater tells you how much greater you scored. So that means you are adding 1 point greater than your last test grade would be whatever I scored on that last test plus 1. Again, that would be the same expression as saying 1 plus the last test grade because order doesn't matter in addition. The word sum represents the answer to an addition problem. So as soon as we see the word sum, we know we're adding, and we're adding in the order in which we see it, 3 and a number, 3 plus a number. But it's okay if you turn it around and say a number plus 3 when it's addition, because order doesn't matter when you're adding. When you add in a different order, you get the same answer. 5 more than a number. The 5 more than says I'm adding 5 to some number. So some number plus 5. But because it's addition, that's the same thing as 5 plus a number. Here we see that word sum again. We need to know that the word sum represents the answer to an addition problem. We're adding a number in 5. So n plus 5, which is the same as 5 plus n. You have to be really careful, though, in subtraction and division. Order does matter in subtraction and division. So when we look at these examples, you want to think about what are you starting with and what are we subtracting? So how much are we taking away? So Naomi gives some of her pencils away. So we know that we're starting with some amount. We have some starting amount. And then we have the amount we are subtracting. And it's important that you identify which is which so that you know which order you write it in. So she's giving some of her pencils away, gives some of her 6 pencils away. That means we don't know how many we're taking away. How many did she start with? She started with 6 pencils, and then we're taking some number of pencils away. We do not know how many we're subtracting. So you got to be very careful with how you write the order with subtraction. Sydney decreased her collection of coins by 6. So here Sydney decreased her collection by 6. Do we know how much she started with? Do we know how much we are subtracting? Because again, order matters. We have to have whatever amount we're starting with, and then we're subtracting from that some amount. So she decreased her collection by 6. Decreased by 6 means I took away 6 from whatever that starting collection amount was. Benjamin lost 6 of his stickers. Does that represent the starting amount or the amount we are subtracting? Do we know how many stickers Benjamin started with? Do we know how many he lost? So no, we do not know the amount of stickers that he started with, but we do know that he lost 6. So we would subtract 6 from some number. 6 servings of dinner were decreased by a number. Do we know how much we're subtracting? Do we know what we started with? So if you look carefully, we will see that decreased by a number. We don't know what number they were decreased by. We just know they're decreased by some number. So we started with 6 and we're subtracting some number. 6 minus some number. Westville had 6 fewer schools than Eastville. Do we know the starting amount? No, but we do know that Westville is 6 fewer. So we start with some amount for Eastville and then subtract 6. Some other words that you do need to know for subtraction is the word difference. The difference of Gina's score and 1. Order matters. The order in which you see it here, Gina's score comes first and the number 1 comes second, is the same order you'll write the subtraction problem in. So Gina's score subtracted by 1, because the word difference represents the answer to a subtraction problem. Hope that helps understanding with the translating expressions. Some other words that you want to remember are quotient. Quotient represents the answer to a division problem. If I said the quotient of 10 and 2, that would be 10 divided by 2. If I said the product of 10 and 2, that would be 10 times 2. The product of 10 and a number, we can write that 10 with the letter beside it without any operation, and we know that still represents multiplication. Thank you.